Hi there, my name is Sigi and I'm from tcgbandits. We are an online-only TCG store located in Belgium, delivering across Europe. Today I'm going to dive in the subject single cards. Are they worth it? Do you need to look out on the market for buying single cards instead of waiting for sealed products? Well, that's a very good question. As we all know, sealed products for the moment, very difficult to come by, prices are high, it's not always interesting, especially not if you're just looking for a handful of cards to complete your master set. I remember back in October, November, having a talk with a customer that asked, are you going to sell single cards as well? That I said, no, I don't want to get started with that. We tried card market, we didn't like it, how that went. It was a hassle for us then as a business, so we didn't want to do it. And now we are May 2025, and to be honest, we turned completely that mindset around because we also realize for our own personal collection that it's sometimes very difficult in just getting the product. Pull rates suck, product is not easily available, it costs a lot of money, and we also want to complete our own collection. So then you turn to the open market, you go look at Facebook marketplaces, card market, eBay, second-hand websites, or you go to fairs. So there are a couple of things that you need to know because there are some good and there are some bad things that you just need to take into account. Let's start off with going to fairs, for example, because that's a big hype. It's almost every week somewhere there is a fair going on, trading card related. So is it interesting? Yes, it is. But it depends which one. We went to Comic-Con Holland and there were only 3 stores present that were selling Pokemon related trading cards. That was a bummer, to be honest. I was expecting a lot more. Previously we went to Facts in Ghent, Belgium. There was a bit more. There I found some really good cards. I really liked it. But there are a lot more events also that are focusing on the single cards itself. Can be for Lorcana, you name it, Pokemon Up, all those things. So that can be very interesting. But another key point that you need to take into account when going to fairs, yeah, prices are high for the cards. We went at a booth and there were all those binders and a lot of the cards were not labeled, but then there was a paper mentioning that, okay, for 1 card it was €3, if you take 10 it was €2.50 a card. That sounded great, but when you looked through the binders, most of them were nothing, or perhaps 50 cents, but then you were paying €2.50 or €3. That's way too much. Yeah. So you need to know what you are buying and you need to be prepared. Yeah. Or you need to identify quickly if a card in a binder has a higher value and the vendor just simply doesn't know it. Then that's your luck. Then there was also another binder and those were priced, all the cards were priced individually. Great, very clear. And then you start looking up the prices and at a certain moment you see that, okay, but your prices are a bit higher than market. And then you compare and then it seems that they are using a different website than what I was using. A lot of people use Card Market or Collector or other things. So I was using Card Market to look up the cards, but it seems they were using a different website and that website was more United States focused, which is obviously not the same. And then they were also taking the US dollar price. That ain't gonna work. There is a big difference now between the US dollar and euro. You cannot compare that. So a card for $12 would be €10, give or take, here with us. But that card was placed at €12. So yeah, then another booth, a lot of cards were not labeled at all. And I asked, okay, but how much is that card? And he said, my friend, just look through the binders, take out the cards that you are interested in, and at the end, we will see and I will give you a good price. I was like, I don't like this, because that means that if you like me, you will give me a good price. If you don't like me, you will give me a very bad price. And you can do that with everybody, because you get the price in your head and I know nothing. I'm taking out cards out of the binders and in the end you say, yeah, that's so much. What? when you're buying single cards, you need to know the price of an individual card. Every card is different. As I said, you can have a card that they are saying it's 3 euros, but market price is 50 cents. So stay away from vendors like that. If the cards are not priced, leave it alone. There are enough opportunities for you in the open market to buy those cards from a seller that is doing a bit of an effort. So take that into account. Also, negotiating doesn't always go smooth. So it depends a little bit. And if you notice that it's going not so great, sometimes it's just better to step away. Good lesson. Then you also have, of course, card market, Facebook marketplaces, eBay and things like that. Also look out, because the hidden cost is, of course, shipping. Shipping is not for free. You need to take that into account. I see a lot of posts on Facebook Marketplace, for example, that they say, okay, shipping costs is for the buyer. That can add up. Especially that's also one of the reasons why we don't like Card Market that much, because the shipping arrangement or the prices that Card Market is then selecting for shipping costs, that doesn't add up. And also if you buy a card that is worth 300 euros. Take an example, you are buying Bubble Mew from Card Market, it's worth 300 euros. You want that package to be insured, yeah? So an insurance also costs money, so the shipping costs are going up, but you are going to pay for that. So that's also another thing. Also packaging and all those crap, that also costs money. Take that into account when you are buying cards. And also if something seems too good to be true, so you know, for example, the Bubble Mew is 300 euros, you can buy it for 150, you know something's off, yeah? Do research and don't just blindly buy a card. There are so many fake cards out there. Be careful, because sometimes perhaps you might not notice it, but you can have a fake card in your binder. That you think, okay, we got a good deal. Yeah, no, they got a good deal. You got a bad card. Okay, so that's a bit, yeah. Okay, Card Market is then focused on the European market. I use Card Market to check out the prices. But when I check out the prices, when I also define the prices for my own website, I check for the Belgium and the Netherlands market. Because my most clients are coming from those markets. So I check what is a bit the median price between those two countries on Card Market. And that's how I define my price. I also need to be sure that I don't make a loss, of course. If I buy cards myself on the secondary market, I cannot sell them for a loss either. So, okay, some prices for some cards could be a bit off. It's also not always easy in following up the prices, but that counts for everybody. On Card Market, that can be as well. Facebook marketplaces, that depends a little bit more, because there you sometimes have flash sales. Usually they know pretty well what they are selling. And they also look a lot at Card Market, for example, but some look at the first line in Card Market. I had it at the fair. There was a guy standing next to me and he said, oh, that card is way too expensive. And I said, oh yeah, why? And he showed me and said, Card Market, yeah, 650. And the card was 12, I think. But I said, you're looking at the first entry. But you need to look for a bit of the medium price, because the first entry, it could be anybody. Could be perhaps that there was something with that card. I didn't read the description that was mentioned with it. Be careful. And also, if you are buying online and it's a card of value, always ask for pictures. Pictures are not clear, don't buy. Yeah, blurry pictures, that's the trick to make you buy a card which is not okay. We have a rule on our website, for example, any card above 5 euros, you can reach out to us and we will give you high resolution pictures that you can quickly look at if the card suits you, yes or no. We are not here to fool you. Yeah? Nobody should try to fool you. You should be able to buy the product that you like in the condition that you like. If someone mentions the card has a bit scuffs on it, they just need to be honest with that. And if you can live with that, if it's just also to play or just to have in your binder and you don't care about it, then that's fine. But if you want a really near mint card and you're really picky, then be careful on the open market. That's just my 5 cents. Furthermore, if someone presents you cards and they are in those sleeves that you can get with ETBs, as you know, the front is transparent, the back is not. Yeah? Make sure you can have a look at how the card is looking at the back as well. Front can be near mint, back can be bad. So near mint normally should be front and back near mint. Not the front near mint and then the back terrible. Be careful with that. But we are also learning, we are heading into this endeavor. We are putting our private collection on the website. We decided to sell it so that our customers can also take advantage of the bulk that we got that's lying around and is doing nothing, just in boxes. We are sharing with the community, we are selling it off, and we are buying with that money then also new cards that we miss in for our master sets. Plain and simple. So along the way, we are going to pick up other things and we are going to inform you about it because we want you to be able to buy decent product, not specifically from us, but we don't want you to make mistakes. We are going to make mistakes, we are going to learn from it, and we are going to explain to you how to avoid these things. Great, right? Hey, that's why we are here. Not only to sell our products, no, we just want to inform you. There are a lot of people in it for the ping, 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 but we are here for the love of the hobby. Not only for the ping, ping. Okay, our business needs to grow, needs to run, but we don't have in our mind, money, 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 money. No, we want to have fun. We want to be part of the community. We want to communicate with our customers. We want to go to fairs. We want to do this and really, really, really like it. So, and if you have any questions, if you have any interesting comments for example, drop them down below. Could be interesting for other people. Could be interesting, perhaps ideas for a next video that perhaps we can inform everybody also about that. If you are looking for single cards, sealed products, anything, check out our website, tcgbandits.eu. Also subscribe to our newsletter because when we get inventory in and it's put online, we send out a newsletter. That's the way that we do our communication. If you liked the video, please click that like button. Also click that subscribe button. There is a lot more content coming your way, including also videos where we will do some interesting giveaways when we are going to do box openings. Hey, we got a lot of ideas, a lot of good plans. Yep, we are really putting an effort into this YouTube channel. Why not? We love it. And we thank you for your attention and we hope you enjoyed it and we gladly see you in one of the next videos. Bye.